Everybody, hello everybody on Facebook. Please wait a minute. I will start broadcasting. I try to set up another video camera on YouTube from a different angle. I got stuck here. Don't know what happens. Let me do it again. Okay, I have to type the title again. Painting snow effect on rice paper. Just make it simple. I was going to say that with transparent ink or transparent white ink. I'll add that later. Okay, go live. Let me change the camera. Okay, now you can see I set up a little table easel here. Try to make this best angle. You can see this. Rotate device. Why should I do that? I want to rotate it. Just want to. Let's see. Am I live on YouTube? I need to check my computer here. Cannot see what is. Okay, I think I'm live now. Sorry about the technical problem. Okay. Now I can hear myself. It says rotate the device. Let me see if I can do better with that. This angle better? Definitely, right? Let's see. So it's vertical Sorry about the camera. I think now you can see right at my left. So, are you ready? I'm going to demo a new product called the transparent ink, transparent white ink. Now let me pour some off. I use a little plastic saucer to hold it. I think the components, ingredients may be alum plus glue. I'm not sure because you can use size like alum and gelatin to create similar effect. I think my wife is getting that phone for me. I'm not going to answer any phone calls during the video. Okay, sorry about that interruption. I will use regular brush. As you know, in watercolor painting, we need to save white for the color white. We don't use any gouache unless you want to paint opaque watercolor. So it's very difficult to leave the white exactly as we want, especially when you do a snow scene or icicle, that kind of thing. So what we do is we can use a water resist, which is this kind of product. We block the transparency, the absorbency of the unsized paper. So if you use sized paper, you don't need to do this. It doesn't make sense. It's already water resist. But if you use alum or this transparent ink to block the part that you want, you'll save that white. Hopefully, this not only block the transparency, but still, allow you to paint like you size the paper partially. So you can still paint. Depends on the intensity of the color, the ink. So I use the dry brush, right dip into this ink. So there's no water dilution. So it's supposedly, I shake it well, of course. It's a 100% white transparent ink. You can get this product from blueheronarts.com. Just search transparent white ink. Okay, I have a draft here I made because we don't have any snow here on the ground, at least in LA. I can still see some snow on mountaintop when there's snow there. What I can see is outside my window is palm trees. So I'm going to do palm trees in with the snow effect. You may call it the infrared effect, infrared photo effect. If you search on Google infrared photo, it's a kind of filter that generates this kind of white trees to make the green look white. So basically, I'm going to save the branches. Okay, like with this liquid. This is a single Xuan, the thin rice paper, very, very thin, right? I put a double Xuan underneath it as a padding on purpose because I would use both for the experiment, and you will see the different effect So you can do two at one time. That's another advantage of using rice paper to paint watercolor. Okay, another thing about the transparent, using transparent white rice paper is that you can trace very easily your design. I just did this soft sketch on my computer screen, the LED screen, using a pencil very gently. You don't want to scratch your monitor, of course, but as you can see, the transparency does help. You can trace your photo very easily. I wish I can show you the reference photo, but if you do a search infrared photography on Google, you will see many beautiful tropical snow effect with the photograph. So I try to make fun of it. Just somebody actually shared this picture on my timeline on Facebook. And thank for that. I forgot your name, but thank that friend for sharing this inspiration of. That makes me inspired to do this experiment. I think it's a challenge, right? So let's see what we have underneath. So this is a single Xuan, this is double Xuan. On double Xuan, I have less, but you will see, it's maybe nice to have some lost and found effect, like so. So we never know which one will come up exactly. So let's just make some more. And if you want, you can mask all, but I will save that. We can experiment with some different techniques. Like you can use a little ink to blend. Let's do that right now. So I use another cap, maybe with a little whatever gray or leftover colors in it. So you can have some gray. I can use some ink, maybe. Just I should save this brush. Anyway, I'm going to use a different brush if I go back to white. So let's just use some ink. So let's say we want to block partially. The trunk should be kind of dark. I'm not going to maybe put my reference photo on. So I think we can just do a chunk with ink. I didn't use water, I just used the water resist. This will block the moisture when you wash the background. It will generate some kind of watermark, like a backlit effect. And some gray wash on the background. wash, just like dry brush stroke, skip some, I just make it abstract. So let's just like pushes, right? With this gray ink, blended with white ink, right? On the ground, we want to make a smooth, like a slope. The height part with the low part with less resist will be grayer. Just dry brush, skip some areas, and there are some branches. Maybe with icicle, let's see if we can make some dripping, like hanging there. Some branches with icicles. I know there are many places with the snow. I think you are lucky. I haven't seen any snow since we lived here on the ground. So I just exhaust this. I need to let it dry. Before it gets dry, it's still absorbent, right? You want to wait it dry so it will become a partially sized paper. This is considered as size. Size is a water resist treatment of paper in the paper industry. They use you can use wax or other things to block the absorbency, right? That's the term means. Okay. So let me see the underpainting. If it works. I put this aside for drying, and see this painting. We didn't get much, so let me just put some more white blocks. I think there's a tree there. And there's some bushes behind. Ground. Got some more. I'm going to use up this. Negative painting the dark chunk on the side. So I leave, if something dark you don't want to block it, you paint the white part with this white transparent ink. Okay. And let me use hair dryer to dry it so we save some time. The YouTube camera is kind of far. I don't know how to zoom it. Maybe we can just zoom in. There are many people watching here. Good. I think I made it upside down. So let me see if I can change that. I have to change the camera. I just realized it's upside down. Okay, better? Sorry about that, Fox. Okay, still wet, so you need to be patient, or you can, use a hair dryer to dry it completely. And I'm going to work on the first painting. So let me see if I can still do it together. I have to make sure it's same position. So maybe I just keep doing it, see what happens. Maybe try it further. This is the double Xuan paper. The first on top is the single Xuan. Make sure it's thoroughly dry. You know what? There's still a little moisture on the ground, but I like maybe experiment with that so it will be a soft edge. The hard edge part, like the crown of the tree, need to be solid, dry, crispy. So you generate a very sharp edge. Let me use some background brushes like this. Hacky brush. I'm going to use watercolor. The watercolor cannot be wet mounted, but I use dry mounting, so that's not an issue anymore for me. Let me get some watercolor here. I use Cobian or Cobine. I don't know how to pronounce it correctly. The watercolor made by a Japanese brand. So I will use some light sky blue, horizon blue, and the lavender. This is the blue to start with, and I can enhance it with cobalt or cerulean blue later. Since I'm going to, let me see if it works first. Yeah, I think it's working. You see, that's the beauty of white ink. So you don't need to void. On this side, I have a trunk, a closed tree. I don't worry about that. So you can see if I didn't block the absorbency, it would be blue, right? But with the white ink, you can see the white. I'm not sure if I can still paint color on that. We'll find out. But you can vary the consistency. Dilute it if you want semi-transparent, maybe, so the paint will show gradation, maybe. Okay, let me start adding some dark cobalt or cerulean. Just make so you can see more clear. See, if I use darker paint, it will cover the white. It will make it a little pale, than the. This is very tender paper. It's not the mulberry paper, so I have to be very careful not to tear it. Use even darker ink. Darker paints. The French Ultra on this side. So why don't we just do a gentle wash overall with blue? Everything is white supposedly, so no other colors than blue, gray, or purple, purple gray or something. Oh, I see a snowman or something. But I didn't really pay attention on the shape of this. Just like a blob. Another, maybe. This is just my first experiment with landscape painting using the transparent white ink we have. Let me pull up the reference photo. There's some gray things. I can use some grays, I think. I'm using semi-transparent watercolor. It's David's gray or something like that as a base. So then I add some color to it to generate a gray that could cover a little bit the white ink, I think. Make it more, with more body. Let me hold the palette on my sun. You can see. The ground could be similar to the sky. Let's do some cobalt, some lavender, some gray or whatever. I mean, not using white, just some semi-transparent colors here. I see some green for some reason on the ground. Just have very subtle changes. Oops, I got some dirty color. Let me clean that. Okay, I just use some red and maybe ultra to make it gray again. I'm gonna do this trunk. It's maybe too early because it's wet. You want to, let me just wash this, see what happens. Whoops. It's too warm. It's kind of warm actually in the snow with the sunshine. The pink would be nice, I think. I like the non-natural colors, like the pink here by accident. It's beautiful. I just use that. A little warm. So this just adds some purple, pink to the palm tree there. Okay, I better work in layers, but it's kind of hard to lift it right now. I can dry it before I touch it. Because it's stick on the bottom, on the end of paper. I better wait a little bit. Let me do another thing. It's the dark areas in the shady part of the tree. You can use some gray. Try it, just brown, I think. Brown, red, and blue. I really don't want to blend too much on my palette. I just let it happen on the, like dye on the silk. So you can have see different colors, browns. This actually could be done on the back side, so you will not cover the ink on the front. This shady part, let's turn it over, or I'll just dry it first. So this is considered as the first layer in watercolor painting, the high keys wash. Let me dry it. about the noise. Okay, let's turn it over. I had the tape, just hold it in position. Wow, beautiful underpainting here. Let's see, this is the double Xuan. I used it as a padding, for the single Xuan top. But sometimes we end up have this more of the the more ideal. So let's try this one too, and then we will. Okay, I definitely like the double Xuan better, I think. Here's the one I did on the front. But you don't really see the effect until you mount it. I'll do that just a moment. The double Xuan tends to give you the effect even before mounting. So it's a very good paper to work with colorful watercolor style paintings. Let me make the dark part a little darker, just create more contrast and just add more details also. This is a small sheep hair brush. You can find on our website for less than $5, I think. Okay, let me just get some grays to add some detail to the branch, like the vein. Some dark leaves in the shady part. I think it's kind of water resist now, but you can paint with very thick paint. So the second layer should be, if the first layer is like milk, this layer will be more like cream milk. And eventually we may use yogurt to paint. See, I can still cover it with thick paint, but it shows a different effect with the the part without the white, so you can still see that frost effect. This dry brush, grab some paints directly from the supply, and some minimum mixture, just let it blend on the paper. Just paint right across. You see the white resist. The white paint resisted. You can still negative paint to generate a little, more soft snow effect. You paint with speed. You'll get skipped white, like we call it, flying white. So that's little bits of white generate frosty feel. The dry brush, you just observe the reference and then go very fast. Cutting. I can just right across the background, so make this in the foreground. Am I making this too colorful? Maybe too much greens, but this is what I see here in outside my window, so everything's still green. So maybe you want to just use neutral color more than the. Let me just blend it with muted with more ultramarine, maybe. Okay, I can use different color. You can use gray to like a gray of gray or something like that, and then just add a little color to add more kind of shady part. Okay. This is semi-opaque or opaque gouache, kind of. But it's watercolor. Hobian, you can find a whole bunch of these kind of semi-opaque colors in Hobian watercolor series. Dry brush is opaque gray. create some illusion of shadows. You can even use white if you need. I try to use with use this kind of gray as base. It's more convenient and it's less muddy. Okay, let me add some texture to the trunk. I think I could have done this without Sumi, but I think it would be interesting. Let's do some ink to do to frame the other side. One side with ink. Dry brush. I got some leftover ink from previous project. Okay, so I just draw this chunk from right here with a flying white. I can break the top line, I think. Let me see. There are some lichens on the trunk. Use some gray. Some dried leaves, warm color. This is the first snow of the new year, so you'll see some dried withered leaves, some maybe also the shady part of this. Negative painting different plants, groups of trees. I'm using the red whisker landscape brush among the 5 basic brushes. This looks like a pond or road, whatever. Just leave that to your imagination. Okay, I tend to get in the point over doing it. What do you think? Time to stop for this one? We still have to do the other one. On rice paper, the dry brush looks better than on regular watercolor paper. And you can soften soften it after applied dry. Use some moisture like clean water to blend in a little bit. We can enhance the sky a little bit, I think, with a cobalt wash. You don't have to do negative painting, just paint right across it. You can see that's the beauty of the white ink. Oh, that's too strong, does it? Okay, this is like a, you see through some clouds or something. I was try to show you you can work on the other side too. So I'm doing this on the back side, so it will be more subtle with the cobalt, because the cobalt is kind of covering color, right? You want to make it more subtle. You can use some color on the back to the shady part also. See, yeah, this is on the back side. So I've used the 100% consistency, so kind of very opaque. You could dilute it, so it will give you more frosty or grains if you desire that kind of icicle texture. You can dilute the white ink. This is the back. This is the front, and it will dry much lighter, like watercolor, but even more so on rice paper. So we need to work a little more than you expect. We make this shadow part a little grayer. Maybe just overall blue wash, maybe the cooler. Some comments? Time to stop. Okay. I think the purpose of this demo is not to complete this painting, but if I'm lucky, I'll be glad. But basically showing this new product called transparent white ink. So if you missed the first part, you can go back to see that process I did. And this is the product. Transparent white ink. You can find it on our website. Let me put this aside, and I will work on this one, the single Xuan one. So let me just do a overall wash. And you will see the magic. You see it? Yeah. So the white shows because it blocks the moisture with the white paint, right? maybe use a larger brush to have fast working speed. It's better to use a hacky brush. Use lots of water dilute it. I have some different blues. I mix them to get a rich blue sky, I think. Okay, let's just do this like so. This is on the back side. It will be subtle on the front side. You can add some dark to the shady area. Oops, that's kind of muddy. Diluted would be nice. Oops, too red. Whoops, kind of wrong color. This is the back side. So I just paint some random colors to add some hint of color, tint of color. There's a tree trunk across there. I have to do it on the other side. Just give it color to the trunk here from the back. You can do a shadow, whatever. Okay, let me dry it. You can see this underpainting was underpainting. Now my main project, I think, is this paper that I started on, as a padding on the first painting, but now I like it better, I think. I'm just experimenting with. You can paint with very heavy ink on the white resist still, but not the pale ones. You just add a little warm to the highlight, little orange color to the highlight. I think it's time to stop. I will sign and date it 2018. If it's considered as a watercolor, I'll sign with an English name, maybe with a pencil, or I can still do the Chinese signature with a Chinese seal. If you like, I can show you how to mount it before we finish, I think. Let's just do that, I think. The beauty of dry mounting is that you don't have to let it dry. This one is too wet, so let me put this easel away and I'll do the mounting of the double Xuan painting as a finished touch, the last step. Okay, let me move my easel now. Okay, here I got a Bristol paper and silicone paper. I think the silicone paper is a little smaller. Let's see. Should be fine. Okay, I got iron. Plug in to somewhere between silk and wool. 180 degree is what we need. And just to activate the adhesive film. Maybe 30 seconds. If the iron is hot enough. So no water is needed at this point, okay? Just a dry iron. It's a dry mounting process. Although the painting should have some moisture to make it flat easier. Because just like iron a shirt, you need a little water. So I released the backing paper comes with the silicone. Now this Bristol paper is mounted, laminated, so to speak, with a shiny surface, the sticky when it's hot. Okay. The next, I'm going to put the painting on. So let's do this double Xuan. Double Xuan is a little easier. Oops, this is a little too big. I have to cut off the bottom. Hope that's okay with composition. Well, I'm debating on this. So it will look smaller like that. Or we can cut off the sky a little bit bottom to compromise. I should have measured it. I think we can do that. Just crop it. So I will cut off this bottom, cut off a little on the top. I think I'll have to do that to make it a 9 by 12 standard size, easier for framing. You should always do this kind of standard size if you could, so you find a frame very easily. After mounting, you can frame it like a picture, like a photograph, very easy, right? So this is okay. You just keep iron. Well, you still have chance to recrop it. I think the mounting really doesn't make that much difference, but I think you can see here the color a little different. Otherwise, you can still maintain the original size, I think. because the painting is quite wet, it will take a while to make it completely dry. I used the release paper to protect it. You can see if I didn't do this, this dirt will go on top of the painting, which is no good. That's why you always need a protecting sheet. If you don't have it, you can start with using a drawing paper or newsprint. And then after your first project, you should have a release paper to use. Actually, when you do this method, you always have this paper. When you release the silicone on the support, you'll get this sheet and then use it as a protecting sheet on top of the artwork. All right. Let me try it all the way, or we can just cut off the extra. I think we can just cut off the extra. That blue is too dark anyway, so I'm going to cut that, just trim it off. That looks good. Okay, just take this piece off. Now you have finished the painting. So I hope you like it, and if you want, you can experiment with the alum. You can find the alum and gelatin on our website, or you can buy this ready-made solution. I think it's maybe different than the alum, but it acts similar to that. It's very convenient. You can use this as a size, but it's too expensive. So if you use this as the size of the whole thing, you need to make it yourself. But use a mask. It's good on any absorbent like a silk or rice paper, mulberry paper. May not working as well on watercolor paper. Where you better use the mask liquid. I do have this artist masking fluid. Masking fluid cannot be used on rice paper because it will not be rubbed off. The rice paper is very tender, you got a tear. So you cannot use masking on rice paper. That's the alternative what I showed today, the transparent white ink. And you can dilute it to the right consistency so you can still paint on it or show through some of the paints when you do a unified wash or a color pigmentation, or what do you call it, saturation. So this is very useful to explore. This is something new to me too. I think as I have more time to experiment, more chance to experiment, I'll make more videos to show you other applications, like on flower, on other landscape, and true winter landscape. This is I call it infrared photo effect. You can just create a snow thing like a tropical snow, you know. That's the fun of this. I'll need to sign it. Use small whistle brush, sign it. I can use a convenient ink cake. I don't need to use the bottle, open the bottle. It's ready all the time. Just rub it off with dampen the brush, and then it should go here. I can sign in my English initials, XHL 2018, and I can still use a seal next to it. Or on top of that, whichever. Okay, now it's complete. Okay, I think my battery is off. I have to finish right now. Thank everybody for watching, and see you next time.